Sports are usually seen as a graphic example of gender division, especially in what and how the media portrays it. Sport events are significantly connected with the male world, relegating its female version to a position of less importance or interest, only a mastery in few marginal activities. According to the International Olympic Committee, it was not until last Olympic Games in London 2012 that every country competing included female athletes, which made 40% of the participants and covered every sport in the program. However, men and women competing together only features in the equestrian disciplines, and there are currently 2 Olympic events in which male athletes may not compete: synchronized swimming and rhythmic gymnastics. Such division has too often been claimed appealing to the physical differences that might affect the demands of sports. According to this vision, male's tendency to be physically stronger and taller would make him more suitable for sports like wrestling or football, whereas female's flexibility allows her to succeed in gymnastics. Even though that could be anatomically proven, it has been remarked from the social sciences that however biologically determined it could be, sport is not just based on physical activity, but on the following of certain patterns, rules, and attitudes. Michael Kimmel sees in the competition and aggressiveness through certain sports where the virility model is accomplished, escaping the role of femininity. Through sport, male children are trained to be men, reflecting all the expectations and attitudes around such a rigid role definition. If it is understood then that synchronized swimming and rhythmic gymnastics are not strictly competitive, in the sense that one does not play directly against the other, one can see a substantial difference between those activities and what football or wrestling could mean. At the same time, these last two, even when following a certain strategy, allow for the player certain agency, creativity, and improvisation, what makes them a real-time genius, whereas gymnastics, synchronized swimming, or even dancing are based on the strict live repetition of learned movements. These differences are not based on strength or flexibility, but on the role of the player. Sport does not only involve the physical body, but also an attitude. The gender division in sports should not be understood as a physical division, but one based on personality and roles. It is about gender, not sex. It is socially induced. This means that such social categories are interiorized, but our individual spirit gets wrapped with the culture's fabric, as Margaret Mead would put it. Pierre Bourdieu draws the theory of habitus as a set of dispositions which incline agents to act and react in certain ways, but that are not consciously coordinated or governed by any rule. They are, indeed, dispositions acquired through a gradual process of inculcation, in which early childhood experiences are particularly important. Most interestingly, they are structured in the sense that they unavoidably reflect the social conditions within which they were acquired. The answer in social sciences is clear. The individual starts getting embedded with social categories and roles since the first moments of socialization. Ruth Benedict's work in 1949, for instance, would be pioneer in noticing how the most subtle and implicit input the individual receives, even since childhood, will construct them socially, and it is no different with gender differentiation. We can therefore claim that such division of role is both interiorized and interiorizing during early childhood, both produced and reproduced. In this project, we have committed ourselves to study, through an example, one of the earliest moments in an individual's life where such division in the sport dimension is visible, the choice of extracurricular activities. We find them an interesting object due to its non-mandatory character, as it is not usually part of a school's curriculum, and therefore parents and children have a stronger role in the decision. Through our own fieldwork in a specific school, we intend to understand the pressures involved in the choice of an extracurricular sport. Among other scholars, Messner's theory is relevant to our objectives. He insists on the importance of analyzing it from interactionist, cultural, and structural theoretical perspectives, understanding the boundaries between male and female persons as achieved by children and parents. Gender is interactively performed through the culture industry, especially the media, and reproduced through institutions like the school in a way that constructs an apparently natural boundary between boys and girls. We therefore recognize the agents involved in the decision: social actors, children, parents, and friends, official institutions, and cultural symbols.
The school we choose is Fructuós Galaber, located in the district of Sagrada Familia, Barcelona, which has been kindergarten and primary school since 2004. We choose the school because of its interesting self-definition, Even when being public, it works through the Slow Education project, involving not using books and timetable flexibility. It combines an interest in the promotion of solidarity and equality values to its pupils, while being economically reachable for all the families. The extracurricular activities are entirely chosen, promoted and supervised by the AMPA, the parents' organization. From the direct relationship with the parents, the AMPA gathers the different proposals and activities every course, which are never established during the school hours and have to be current with the school's philosophy. That is the case of activities pre-sport, sport initiation and team sports, taught under the school pressure until 4th grade, with the aim of preventing then the focus on the most popular ones, football and volleyball, that are only available from 9 years old. That means that even when it has not direct responsibility, the institution can affect what and how is being taught. There are a variety of activity offered, and the AMPA claims their existence mainly to parents and children, and they are all offered for both genders. In order to organize our file work, we identify the three agents involved in the activities: parents, children, and institution.
The results of our investigation were clear. Even when the school presented the teams as mixed, all children but one playing football were male, whereas all children doing volleyball, roller skating, and hip-hop were female, except one boy in the latter. What are the pressures involved in it? When asking parents about it, the main reason they gave of their children's choice was friends' influence, usually from the same gender. Sports, even when having such a genderizing force, become mainly a form of socializing for the children, and the decision is often considered more in terms of friendship than the actual activity. Media helps as well to convey an image of expectations through role models of famous athletes and teams who have a strong impact on the kind of sport the child chooses. Football being the most famous sport in the country, it is also the most demanded extracurricular activity in school by male children. However, it is important to know that even when the school actively tries to avoid concentration at early age onto one specific sport through the already mentioned holistic activities, many families choose to bring their children to other institutions. This will often be private, harder to access for the parents, and will offer the children the chance to play football or volleyball until they reach 4th grade and the school allows them to do so in their own institution. At the same time, the disposal of the timetable by the AMPA only reproduces the difference in choice. Football and hip-hop dancing happen at the same time, making it impossible for a child to attend both, while there is no overlap between volleyball, roller skating and hip-hop. However, that the parent influence from the social environment is not enough for parents to see their children's behavior as entirely affected by such. One mother, for instance, explicitly claims her daughter's choice of toys as being genetically determined. What we found, therefore, validates Messner's theory on the agents affecting a choice both produced and reproducing gender divisions. We cannot overlook that boys and girls organize themselves into two separate groups, thus creating two groups divided by gender. Parents and teachers are performing gender in ways that approve children's performance of difference, meaning there is no objection for this kind of separation or even a strong tendency to justify any deviation. The football professor claims girls that play his sports do so because they are sportive. And the same happened when we talked with the mother of the only child who joined hip-hop, who explained or even apologized for her child's behavior, appealing to a vacation for it. It seems then that for both parents and teachers, the child needs a strong reason that legitimizes its separation from unnatural patterns. At the same time, Messner claims that what we witness is something taught through media and toys, a learning of what is accepted for their gender and what is not. If we take toys as an example, we can quickly see that the industry creates gender-divided market, a model that is mirrored when choosing an extracurricular activity. Sports in the media would also be a clear trigger. Finally, the school we studied creates a space and accepts a timetable that supports the division based on gender by rendering impossible the access to two genderized sport activities at the same time as hip-hop and football are. The choice in extracurricular sport activities is, to summarize, a situation where we witness gender division in an early age. It is often said to be linked to children's choices, even naturalized, but it already shows a social tendency to divisions brought by the pressure of different agents.